Sometimes I buy bits just because they look cool. Figuring out what it's actually going to be used for, that's future me's problem. So I bought the head of a Manticore a few years back, and it made sense now to incorporate it into an Accursed Cultist Torment. If a mere mortal is going to mutate into some kind of monster,
this monster lives.
Why not pull inspiration from one of the most iconic transformations ever, the werewolf? The more popular cousin of the wenwolf and the what-wolf. I've had this steampunk style wolf for quite a while, and I've also had a fleet of werewolves from Chaos Ball ready to be kitbashed. I feel like doing a simple head swap on the giant wolf would be lazy, and I can't explain why, but I might want to use that model for something else sometime. Again, that's future me's problem. So one leg from each glued together for the bottom half of this cultist. The difference in leg size I think implies that we're seeing this guy mid-transformation, and it's an imperfect process. Plus, I think having at least one larger leg helps balance the model out so that it isn't too top heavy. So, if I'm not going to use the giant wolf body, what can I use for a torso to connect the legs to the head? How about I sculpt one out of polymer clay? The major reason I don't always have footage of the sculpting process is that I truly do not know if what I'm doing will turn out, or if I just 360 behind the back dunk it into the trash. I guess I should be more confident in myself. So in the last video, I mentioned that the official Torment models have a Baby Bjorn sort of aesthetic, where a smaller cultist was growing out of and hanging from the larger monster. Not to mention One Piece in yet another video, but it really is my favorite thing. This reminds me of the gifters from Wano, like the giraffe guy, or the teddy bear. So I found a properly fuzzy Space Wolf's head to glue on the shoulder. I carved wood dowels into rough bicep shapes to connect the shoulders to the forearms and hands that were leftovers from my Khorne Demon Prince build. This only proves that I will use all leftover bits that I chose to keep, eventually. I chose wood dowels, so instead of waiting for some sculpting material to cure, I could immediately start sculpting fur over top and really blend all these separate pieces together. I added the arms from the smaller werewolf onto the arm, so it wasn't just a floating head. Then I did, I don't know how many passes of green stuff. Pretty simple stuff, just overlapping rows and rows of tear-shaped rolls of putty. I couldn't just let this dude run around Donald Ducking it, or Winnie the Poohing about, so I sculpted some pants onto him. I gave him the Incredible Hulk style stretchy ones because, as I established in earlier videos in this series, I'm not that great at tattered clothes. I sculpted over the tail with the same fur method just so everything looked consistent. The tail isn't centered, but I guess that doesn't really matter because it's an imperfect transformation. This cultist turned out massive. I used a few actual pebbles on the base to weigh it down because with just cork and sand, I could easily tip it over with just a little nudge. Another cool feature is he's positioned in such a way that a lot of other minis can pose for photos with him. He's Photo Op Wolf. We've got one more of these cultists to go. So subscribe and like and comment. Feed the dark algorithm so you can get the final installment sooner. Yes.